Imagine waking up tomorrow with the power to transform any aspect of your life. What would you change? Now, what if I told you that the secret to making this change isn't found in the latest self-help book, a magic pill, or even a revolutionary routine, but rather inside your own mind? This isn't just another motivational speech. It's about a truth that's been overlooked, a perspective shift that has the power to redefine your understanding of happiness, success, and personal fulfillment. Today, we're diving deep into a philosophy that has changed lives for centuries, yet remains as relevant as ever in our fast-paced modern world. A philosophy that promises not just to alter the way you see your challenges, but to transform the way you face them every single day. If you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or just curious about unlocking a higher level of living, you're in the right place. Stay with me, because what we're about to explore could very well be the turning point you've been searching for. And hey, before we embark on this epic journey of the mind, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video faster than you'd skip a boring ad. Because trust me, you won't want to miss a single moment of what's coming up next, and your cat watching over your shoulder agrees. 1. Embracing change. When I talk about change, I'm not just referring to swapping your coffee flavor from caramel to vanilla. I'm talking about the big, the small, the exciting, and sometimes the downright scary changes life throws at us. You see, the Stoics had this figured out centuries ago. They saw change not as something to fear or avoid, but as the very essence of life. It's like this: imagine life is a flowing river, not a stagnant pond. The Stoics? They were the ultimate river surfers. Seneca, a rock star among Stoics, once said, "Nothing is ours except time." Think about that for a second. Everything you have, your phone, your job, even your relationships, can change. But how you spend your time, that's on you. This isn't about watching the clock tick. It's about understanding that since everything changes, we've got this incredible opportunity to live fully in the present. Now, embracing change doesn't mean you throw your hands up and say, "Well, everything changes, so why bother?" No, it's the opposite. It's about taking action because you know time is your most precious commodity. It's about not wasting your days worrying over what might change or what might stay the same. Instead, it's about asking, what can I do right now that's meaningful? The Stoics teach us that by accepting change, we're not giving up control. We're actually taking control over how we react, how we adapt, and how we live in the face of constant change. It's a liberating way to view the world. Instead of clinging to how things should be, we get to focus on how things are and how we can thrive no matter what. So, next time you're facing a change, big or small, remember the Stoic way. Pause and say to yourself, this is just the river of life, flowing as it always does. Ask yourself, how can I surf this change? Because, my friend, embracing change is about finding your balance on the ever-moving water, enjoying the ride, and learning from each twist and turn. It's about living your best life in your own time, by your own rules, and that's a powerful way to live. 2. Choosing your feelings. Yes, you heard that right. It might sound like something out of a fantasy book. Choose your feelings. If only it were that easy. But stick with me here. The Stoics were onto something profound, and it's all about the power we hold within ourselves. Epictetus, another heavyweight in the Stoic squad, threw down this gem. We are not disturbed by things, but by the views we take of them. Let that simmer for a moment. It's not the traffic jam that's driving you up the wall. It's how you're reacting to being stuck. It's not the rain ruining your picnic. It's how you're letting the change in weather dampen your spirits. Now, I know what you might be thinking. So, you're telling me just to be happy about everything, even when things are clearly going south? Not exactly. Stoicism isn't about slapping a smile on and pretending everything's fine. It's about recognizing that, while we can't control everything that happens to us, we have the ultimate say in how we interpret and react to those events. Choosing your feelings is like being the DJ of your own emotional state. Picture this. Life throws a curveball, and your first instinct is to let frustration take the wheel. But then, you remember you're the DJ here. So you pause, take a breath, and choose a different track. Maybe it's acceptance, maybe it's curiosity about what this unexpected turn might bring. Suddenly, the situation feels different, not because it's changed, but because you've chosen to view it through a new lens. This Stoic wisdom is empowering. It tells us that no matter what's happening around us, we've got this inner sanctuary of calm and choice. We can't control the storm outside, but we can calm the seas inside. It's about taking a moment to ask ourselves, is there another way to see this? Can I find a perspective that serves me better? 3. Being good is the goal. Now, when we say good, we're not talking about just being nice or polite, though those are great qualities, don't get me wrong. We're diving into something deeper, something the Stoics really hammered home as the essence of a life well lived. The Stoics, with their sharp minds and profound insights, put virtue, yep, good old-fashioned goodness, at the center of everything. But let's break that down, because virtue can sound a bit old school, right? Think of it as being the best version of yourself, acting with integrity, courage and kindness, no matter what life throws at you. Here's the thing. The world can be a wild and woolly place. We're often pulled in a million directions, tempted by quick fixes, easy outs, and the lure of cutting corners. But the Stoics, they were like the rock in the surf, steadfast in their belief that sticking to your moral compass, doing what's right because it's right, not because it's easy or popular, is where true happiness and fulfillment lie. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great, but what does being good really get me? That's where the Stoic wisdom shines. They believed that by focusing on being the best you can be, true to your values and kind to others, you create a life that's not just successful on the outside, but deeply satisfying on the inside. This isn't about being perfect or never messing up. We're all beautifully imperfect beings after all. It's about setting your sights on something higher, making choices that reflect the kind of person you want to be, especially when it's tough. Being good in the Stoic sense is like setting your internal GPS to awesome human being. It's about asking yourself, is this action, this choice, making me a better person? Is it contributing to the kind of world I want to live in? And here's the kicker. The more you practice this, the more it becomes second nature. You start to act with integrity and kindness, not because you have to, but because it's who you are. So, let's take this to heart. Let's make being good our goal, not as a chore or a checkbox, but as a vibrant, living practice that enriches our lives and the lives of those around us. It's about building a legacy, not of wealth or fame, but of character and impact. And in a world that often celebrates the superficial, choosing to be genuinely, deeply good is a quiet form of rebellion, a powerful statement of what truly matters. And remember, every small act of goodness, every moment you choose integrity over the easy way out, you're not just making your corner of the world a little brighter, you're lighting the way for others too. My friends, is the true power of being good the Stoic way. 4. Thinking about your thinking. Yeah, it's a bit of a brain twister, but this is where the Stoics really bring the heat. They were all about self-reflection, about getting up close and personal with your own thoughts, because they knew that's where the magic happens. So, why is this important? Well, let's be real. Our minds can be tricky places. They can be our greatest allies or our biggest foes, often in the same day. The Stoics, with their sharp insight, realized that the quality of our lives isn't just determined by what happens to us, but by how we think about what happens to us. It's like Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king himself, said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Think about that. It's not the stuff out there that's making or breaking our day. It's the stuff in here, in our heads. Our thoughts shape our perceptions shape our reality, and our reality, well, that shapes everything. But here's the cool part. Just like you can decide to go to the gym and get physically fit, you can decide to work out your mind, to really get in there and examine what you're thinking, why you're thinking it, and whether it's serving you or holding you back. It's about becoming an observer of your own mental landscape, noticing the patterns, the go-to reactions, and asking, hey, is there a better way to look at this? This isn't about judging yourself or getting tangled in a web of overthinking. It's the opposite, really. It's about gaining clarity, about cutting through the noise to find the signal, the truth that guides you towards a more peaceful, resilient state of being. So, how do we do this? Start small. Take a moment each day to reflect on a thought or a reaction you had. Ask yourself, what triggered this? Is it true? Is it helpful? It's like mental decluttering, keeping what's useful and gently letting go of what's not. Thinking about your thinking, this metacognition, is a superpower. It lets you rewrite the script of your own life, turning knee-jerk reactions into thoughtful responses, turning chaos into clarity, and the more you practice, the better you get. It's like building mental muscle, one thought at a time. The Stoics were onto something big here. They knew that the path to tranquility, to living a good life, starts in the mind. By taking charge of our thoughts, we're not just surviving, we're thriving, shaping our lives from the inside out. 5. You decide how to react. This is where you take the reins of your life. No kidding, it's a cornerstone of Stoic wisdom. And honestly, it's like discovering you have a superpower you never knew about. Think about it. Life is basically an endless series of events, right? Morning till night. Stuff happens. The alarm clock goes off too early, your coffee spills, your boss sends you an urgent email at 5 p.m. The Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, remind us that while we can't control all these external events, we have absolute power over how we respond to them. Let's break this down, because it's pretty revolutionary. Imagine someone cuts you off in traffic. Your gut reaction might be to get angry, maybe shout or honk your horn. That's the autopilot kicking in. But here's where Stoicism flips the script. It says, hey, wait a minute, you don't have to respond with anger, that's a choice. And bam, just like that, you realize you're in the driver's seat. You can choose calmness, maybe even empathy. Maybe they're rushing to an emergency, who knows? This is about taking a moment before reacting, creating a little space to choose a response that aligns with who you want to be, rather than letting old habits dictate your actions. It's like being the director of your own life movie. You get to decide the next scene, not the chaos around you. Now, don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean you become emotionless or indifferent, far from it. It's about being mindful of your reactions, understanding that while the first feeling is automatic, what comes next, that's on you. It's about asking yourself, is getting worked up going to help the situation? Is there a more constructive way to deal with this? And here's the kicker. The more you practice this, the better you get at it. It's like building a muscle. At first it's tough. You might forget and react out of habit. But keep at it, and soon you'll find you're responding to life's curveballs with a kind of grace and composure that would make even the most stoic nod in approval. You see, deciding how to react is not just about avoiding negative emotions, it's about actively creating a life that's more peaceful, more in control, and ultimately more fulfilling. It's about not letting the waves of the external world toss you around. Instead, you learn to surf, to move with them, using their energy to propel you forward, on your terms. Remember, you have the power to choose your reaction. Take a deep breath, create that space, and choose the path that leads you closer to the person you want to be. Because in the end, the quality of your life isn't just about what happens to you. It's about how you choose to respond. And that, my friends, is a truly stoic way to live. 6. Focus on what you're doing, not the outcome. This is a golden nugget of Stoicism that's all about where we place our attention and energy. And trust me, it's a game changer. So here's the deal. We live in a world obsessed with results, right? Winning the race, landing the job, getting the likes. And while goals are great, the Stoics toss us a curveball by saying, hey, it's not the finishing line that matters most, but how you run the race. Epictetus, a Stoic heavyweight, puts it this way: don't set your heart on so many things. Basically, focus on your actions, your efforts, and let the chips fall where they may. Now, why is this so powerful? Because the truth is, a lot of outcomes are out of our hands. We can't control the economy, the weather, or what people think of us. But our actions, that's our domain. It's liberating and a bit daunting, because it means taking full responsibility for what we do and how we do it. Imagine you're working on a project. The Stoic approach is to pour your heart and soul into the work, mastering your craft, giving it your all, without getting too hung up on the praise or the paycheck. It's about finding joy and fulfillment in the doing, not just the getting. This mindset shifts everything. Suddenly, the pressure to succeed in the conventional sense lightens, and we start to appreciate the beauty of the process, the growth that comes from just showing up and giving our best. But here's the kicker. When we focus on our actions and let go of the outcome, we often end up achieving better results. It's one of those lovely paradoxes. By not stressing over the outcome, we free ourselves to be more creative, more present, and ultimately more effective. It's like playing a sport. If you're all in your head about winning, you'll tense up and miss the shot. But if you're just in the moment, enjoying the game, you'll probably play better. This Stoic principle isn't about lowering our standards or not caring about goals. It's about a deeper form of success, one that comes from knowing you've acted with integrity, effort, and passion, regardless of the external rewards. It's success measured not by the end result, but by the quality of your engagement with the task at hand. Focus on your actions, your efforts. Ask yourself, am I doing this to the best of my ability? Am I fully engaged in the process? Because in the end, that's what really counts. That's where true satisfaction and growth lie. And who knows, the outcomes might just take care of themselves. By embracing this Stoic wisdom, we not only enrich our own lives, but set a powerful example for those around us on what it means to live a truly meaningful and fulfilling life. 7. Understand and care for others. This is where Stoicism stretches out from the individual and wraps its arms around the wider community. It's about recognizing that we're all part of this big, messy, beautiful thing called humanity. The Stoics had a pretty radical idea for their time, and honestly, it's still pretty radical today. They believed in the concept of cosmopolitanism, the idea that we're all citizens of the world. No matter where we're from, what language we speak, or what we believe, at the end of the day, we're all in this together. It's a call to look beyond our personal bubble, and see the bigger picture. Now, why is this important? Well, it's easy to get caught up in our own lives, our own problems, and forget that everyone around us is fighting their own battles too. But the Stoics remind us that empathy and compassion aren't just nice-to-haves. They're essential to living a virtuous life. It's about understanding that the person who cut you off in traffic might be rushing to a family emergency, or that your grumpy neighbor might be dealing with something you can't even imagine. Understanding and caring for others starts with simple acts of empathy. It's listening more than you talk, offering a helping hand without being asked, or just sending a text to check in on a friend. It's about making the effort to see things from another's perspective, to step into their shoes and feel what they're feeling. And when we do this, something amazing happens. We realize that our own problems might not be as all-encompassing as we thought. We gain a sense of connection, of shared humanity that lifts us all up. But here's the thing. This isn't just about making the world a better place, although that's a pretty great side effect. It's also about enriching our own lives. The Stoics believed that by helping others, by forming these bonds of understanding and compassion, we're actually helping ourselves. We're finding meaning and fulfillment in the service of others, which, let's be honest, is where the good stuff really lies. So, how can we put this into practice? Start small. Smile at a stranger. Offer your seat to someone who needs it more. Volunteer for a cause that speaks to you. Each act of kindness, no matter how small, ripples out in ways we can't even begin to imagine. And as we make caring for others a habit, we start to embody the Stoic ideal of living not just for ourselves, but for the good of the whole. Understanding and caring for others is one of the most Stoic things we can do. It's recognizing that we're all part of something larger, that our actions have a profound impact on the world around us. And by choosing to act with empathy and compassion, we're not just making the world a better place, we're living in accordance with nature's highest law, the universal bond of humanity. So, let's take this to heart and make it a cornerstone of our daily lives, because when we lift others up, we rise together. 8. Be strong in tough times. Life, as we all know, isn't always a smooth ride. There are highs, sure, but there are also those lows, times when it feels like the universe itself might be conspiring against us. This is where Stoicism doesn't just enter the chat. It takes a seat, leans in, and says, "I've got you." One of the most powerful aspects of Stoic philosophy is its approach to adversity. The Stoics were no strangers to tough times themselves, and they had a pretty clear message. It's not what happens to you, but how you respond that counts. Seneca, one of our Stoic guides, put it this way: "Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men." Now, he wasn't saying we should all go out looking for hardship. No, he was pointing out that life's challenges are opportunities for growth, for proving our mettle, and for discovering our true strength. But how do we do this? How do we find strength when everything seems to be falling apart? The Stoic answer is resilience, but not just the grit your teeth and bear it kind. It's a deeper resilience, one that comes from understanding the nature of life itself, its impermanence, its unpredictability, and yes, its challenges. Being strong in tough times starts with acceptance, not resignation, but a clear-eyed recognition of the situation. It's about saying, okay, this is happening, it's tough, but it's part of life. This acceptance frees us from the wasted energy of wishing things were different. Instead, we can focus our energy on what we can control: our actions, our attitudes, and our responses. The Stoics also teach us the value of perspective. When we're in the thick of it, our problems can seem insurmountable. But by stepping back, by asking ourselves, will this matter in a year, 5 years? We often find that the magnitude of our troubles diminishes. This isn't minimizing our feelings or the real challenges we face. It's a tool for gaining clarity and for focusing on what truly matters. And let's not forget about community. The Stoics were big on the idea of mutual support, of the strength that comes from connecting with others. In tough times, leaning on friends, family, or even seeking professional support isn't a sign of weakness. It's a smart strategy. It's about recognizing that we're not meant to go it alone, that there's strength in numbers and in shared human experience. Being strong in tough times is about cultivating inner fortitude. This means practicing gratitude, focusing on what we do have rather than what we've lost. It means setting small, achievable goals to help us feel a sense of progress. And it means engaging in self-care, not as a luxury, but as a necessity. In essence, being strong in tough times is a core Stoic principle. It's about using adversity as a catalyst for growth, for deepening our resilience, and for connecting more profoundly with the world around us. Tough times are an inevitable part of life, but with Stoicism as our guide, we can face them with grace, courage, and a sense of purpose. Remember, it's in the struggle that we often find our greatest strength and our most profound growth. So let's embrace the challenge, support each other, and come out stronger on the other side. 9. Keep life simple. In our world of constant notifications, endless to-dos, and relentless pursuit of more, this Stoic principle feels like a breath of fresh air. It's about cutting through the clutter, both outside and inside our minds, to focus on what truly matters. The Stoics, with their wisdom that's as relevant today as it was back in ancient Greece and Rome, were big advocates for simplicity. They weren't about denying themselves the joys of life, but they were experts in distinguishing between what's necessary and what's excess. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, once mused about how little one needs to be happy, and it's this mindset that we're exploring. So, why keep life simple? Well, when we strip away the non-essential, we make room for what really enriches us. It's about quality over quantity, experiences over possessions, and relationships over accolades. Simplicity allows us to breathe, to be present, and to find joy in the everyday, rather than constantly chasing the next big thing. But how do we do this? How do we start simplifying in a world that screams more, more, more? First, by taking stock. Look at your life, your commitments, your possessions. Ask yourself, does this add value? Does it make me happy, or does it just add noise? It's not about living with the bare minimum, unless that's your thing, but about being intentional with your choices. Next, simplify your time. We're all given the same 24 hours. How we use them speaks volumes about what we value. Prioritize activities that feed your soul. Spend time with people who lift you up. And don't be afraid to say no to things that drain your energy. Remember, being busy isn't a badge of honor. Being fulfilled is. And let's talk about mental clutter. Our minds can be messy places filled with worries, plans, and what-ifs. Simplifying life means taming that chaos too. Practices like meditation, journaling, or just spending quiet time in nature can help clear the mental decks, making space for creativity, peace, and clarity. Simplifying life also means embracing contentment. In a culture that often confuses success with accumulation, finding satisfaction in what we have is revolutionary. It's about enjoying the little things, practicing gratitude, and remembering that happiness isn't found in the next purchase or promotion. It's cultivated in the here and now. In essence, keeping life simple is a profound Stoic practice. It's a call to focus on what's truly important, to let go of the rest, and to live with intention. It's about creating a life that's not just busy or full, but meaningful and rich. So let's take this to heart. Let's simplify in all the ways that matter, and watch as our lives, our relationships, and our inner peace flourish. After all, simplicity isn't just a way to live, it's a way to be. 10. Appreciate the world around you. This is where Stoicism takes us beyond the confines of our own minds and personal challenges, inviting us to look up and look out, to really see, feel, and appreciate the incredible world we're a part of. The Stoics, with their deep wisdom, understood the power of awe and gratitude for the natural world. They believed that by connecting with nature and recognizing our place within it, we could find a profound sense of peace and perspective. It's like when Marcus Aurelius, who had the weight of the Roman Empire on his shoulders, would reflect on the stars, the seasons, and the natural order of things. It was a way to remind himself, and now us, that we're part of something much larger and more magnificent than our individual lives and fleeting concerns. So, why is appreciating the world around us so important? For starters, it pulls us out of our heads. It's easy to get caught up in our problems, our screens, and our own little bubbles. But when we take a moment to observe the beauty of a sunset, the intricacy of a leaf, or the vastness of the ocean, our worries tend to shrink back to their proper size. We're reminded of the wonder of existence, and suddenly, our personal dramas don't seem quite so all-consuming. But it's not just about beauty for beauty's sake. Appreciating the world around us deepens our connection to life itself. It fosters a sense of gratitude, which, as the Stoics and modern psychology agree, is a key ingredient for happiness. It's about seeing the extraordinary in the ordinary, recognizing that every day, every moment, holds something worth noticing and cherishing. How can we practice this? Start simple. Make it a point each day to notice something in your environment you usually overlook. It could be the way light filters through the leaves, the patterns of shadows on the ground, or the sound of the wind. It's about being present, truly present, and letting yourself be moved by the world's natural beauty. And then, share that appreciation. Talk about the wonders you've noticed with friends and family. Encourage them to do the same. There's something contagious about awe and gratitude. They tend to spread, enriching not just our own lives but those of the people around us. In essence, appreciating the world around us is a powerful Stoic practice. It's a call to awaken to the beauty, the complexity, and the wonder of the natural world. It's an invitation to find joy, not in material possessions or external achievements, but in the sheer miracle of existence. So, let's take this to heart. Let's look up from our phones, step outside our routines, and open our eyes to the incredible world we're a part of. Because in the end, it's this sense of connection, awe, and gratitude that enriches our lives, deepens our humanity, and truly makes life worth living. 11. See things differently. This is where the rubber meets the road in Stoicism, where we take all that introspection, resilience, and simplicity and turn it outward, changing not just how we live, but how we perceive the world around us. The Stoics were masters of perspective. They knew that the lens through which we view our circumstances can dramatically alter our experience of them. It's like Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This isn't about denying reality or pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about choosing to see beyond the immediate, often negative, surface reaction, to find a deeper, more empowering truth. So why is seeing things differently so crucial? Because our perspective shapes our reality. If we view a setback as a catastrophic failure, we feel defeated. But if we see it as a learning opportunity, suddenly it's a stepping stone on the path to growth. This shift in perspective doesn't change the facts, but it changes our experience of those facts, opening up possibilities where before we might have seen only dead ends. But how do we do this? How do we start seeing things differently? First, by questioning our automatic assumptions. When faced with a situation that triggers a strong reaction, pause and ask yourself, is there another way to look at this? Often just the act of questioning can create enough space for a new perspective to emerge. Next, practice empathy. Try to see the world from others' viewpoints. This doesn't mean abandoning your principles, but understanding that others have their reasons, their struggles, and their own perspectives. This practice not only enriches our understanding of the world, but also deepens our connection to others. And don't forget about gratitude. By focusing on what we're thankful for, we naturally shift our perspective from what's lacking to what's abundant. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges, but balancing them with a conscious appreciation for the good in our lives. Seeing things differently is also about embracing change. The world is in constant flux, and what seemed impossible yesterday might be achievable today. By staying open to change, we remain adaptable, ready to see and seize opportunities as they arise. In essence, seeing things differently is a core Stoic practice. It's about wielding the power of perspective to transform our experience of life. It's a reminder that, while we may not have control over every circumstance, we have immense control over how we interpret and respond to those circumstances. This shift in perspective is not just about coping, it's about thriving, about finding meaning, joy, and growth in all of life's experiences. So let's take this to heart. Let's challenge ourselves to see things differently, to look for the silver linings, the lessons, and the opportunities that lie in every situation. By changing our perspective, we don't just change our own lives, we change the world around us, one view at a time. And that, my friends, is the true power of Stoic wisdom. As we wrap up this journey through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, remember that these principles aren't just ancient philosophy, they're a roadmap for living a richer, more meaningful life. It's about more than just surviving the storms. It's about learning to dance in the rain, finding joy in the journey, and strength in the struggle. Every challenge, every moment of beauty, every hardship and every victory is an opportunity to grow, to love, and to live more fully. So, as we part ways today, carry these lessons with you. Let them light your path, guide your steps, and inspire you to see the world not just as it is, but as it could be. And remember, the journey doesn't end here. On the screen, you'll see a playlist that dives even deeper into how we can apply Stoic wisdom to overcome challenges, cultivate gratitude, and build a life filled with purpose and joy. Click on it, continue the journey, and keep exploring the depths of your own strength and resilience. Because in the end, it's not just about facing life's challenges, it's about transforming them into your greatest victories. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Until next time, live boldly, love deeply, and always see the world through the lens of possibility. The best is yet to come.